Hi folks, it's Andy. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. This series is basically where we take some videos that you wonderful channel viewers have sent in to us. We watch it together and hopefully everybody learns something. We're going to jump to the videos in just a second. I've got 2 submissions to look at today. We're going to get to them in just a minute, but before we do, you know what we've got to do. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below using the word Kendo, help us grow the Kendo population, and most importantly, support the channel by shopping at KendoStar.com. KendoStar is the best Kendo equipment website in the galaxy, history, and future of the human race. Of course, I would say that because I own the place, but everybody agrees with me. That's KendoStar.com. Okay, let's have a look. So, first submission says... hello Andy, I took part in my second regional Shiai last week. I just discovered someone took video of my fights and here's the link. Okay, just a bit of information for context. I've been doing Kendo for 3 years here in Germany and I'm 3rd Q. Okay, cool. If you have time, I'd love you to critique it. There's much I can improve. Maybe you have some good advice in addition to my senses input. I'll do my best. And another question, I'm looking at getting a custom uniform as I'm 2.01 meters tall, so 201 centimeters tall, and slim. Nothing really fits me. Which product would you recommend on KendoStar? We can do most of the products that we offer to suit you. I know that's not really this part of the video, but you know, that's not the point of this video isn't to answer that, but I think it's quicker I just answer it in this video because I know you'll watch it. Any of our uniforms we can do, but you'll always, if you're very tall and very thin, you'll always have issue with the larger kendogi, right? So we can off the shelf it for you, which is quickest and fastest. If you get something like the Kachi, you'll need like a 29 Hakama certainly, and then like maybe a 4.5 or a 5 for the kendogi, but it could be a bit baggy. You might have to like get the sleeves shortened or something like that. I don't think the sleeves shortened, but I don't know. There's the you might need to modify it in some way. Another option is if it's something that you're seriously interested in, send us a separate email to this one so that my service team can deal with it for you, and we can get something custom made for you. It can be done, but it'll take a little bit of time and it costs a little bit more. All right, but we can definitely do it. Okay, let's have a look. So. You're on the left side of the screen. I think you said that as well in a follow-up email. Yeah, you're on the left side of the screen. Okay, wearing the white tasky. Okay, so, I mean, the Hakama length isn't that bad on what you're going with, but I can see the kendogi is probably a little bit long. But anyway, let's go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what we're doing, and we'll go from 3rd Q, right? Okay. But 3 years in, all right? Because I do know that in Germany you have to do all of the Q ranks individually, so it takes a little bit longer to get to Shodan than in some other places. I'm not sure if this is because of your height or something, but like the way you're doing the Sonkyo looks a little bit odd. Maybe it's the angle. Like I feel like your hips should be a little bit, maybe your knees are a little bit too close together, which is causing your hips to be further back than they should be. Like if you were to sort of widen your knees slightly, then you should be able to get your hips over your heels a bit more. It looks like your hips are kind of behind your heels a little bit, which is obviously causing you to struggle with balance a little bit. So I'd probably look at that first off. Okay, so first thing I'm going to say, okay, I know you're 3rd Q, but you're 3 years in now, all right? So your grade's not that relevant. I'm looking at you as someone who's been doing Kendo for 3 years, okay? When you get to Tsubazariai, don't walk. Don't just abandon Kendo footwork, yeah? Your Asabaki matters here as well, all right? So don't just walk like this because you're not in a position to defend yourself or attack. So also in the same vein, your seme cannot be effective in Tsubazariai. You must also use seme in Tsubazariai, of course. This movement's not... So I've got a feeling this episode's we're gonna talk quite a lot about your footwork, all right? Because that's where you need to sharpen the most from what I've seen so far. Now, we're only sort of 20 seconds into the video, but that's what's glaringly obvious to me at the moment. This sort of movement is what you want to avoid. You ready? this one, whoops, I'm going backwards. This one, you don't want to find yourself in this position. Okay? If you want to move across, left out, right up, left out, right up, not left, right goes in front like that, okay? Because you're not in a position to attack when you need to, all right? See, like this? So then when you suddenly need to attack, you're not really ready. So the attack you make isn't really with the good Kentai no Ichi. So I'm also seeing from the front, from your kamae, your left hand is like, in Japanese, they'd often say like floating. So it's not really strongly holding the shinai and using the left hand to apply seme via the kensen. Instead, you're kind of lifting up like this. So you can't make the strong datotsu from this position. And therefore, again, your seme can't be effective towards the other side. It's not frightening, you know. Left hand's generally a little bit too high. You can see like the left hand is like this. It's not helping you apply seme to the other side, okay? Also, your foot position here, you can see how your leg is like bent like this and you make this kind of S shape. So here, you can't drive forward from your left leg, pushing your hips forward to do humikomi. All you can do is step out really with the right foot, which is what I've sort of seen so far. And it looks a little bit disjointed because the shinai and the launch for the humikomi, they're not really synchronized. Yes, I definitely want you to stop this footwork when you go sideways, this crossing over footwork. Okay, it's kendo is like 80 or more % footwork. Like, I cannot stress enough the importance of getting your footwork correct and accurate. It's just so important, okay? So you really need to lock that down, okay? It has to be sharp, it has to be accurate, okay? Can't be this kind of thing that you're doing here, okay? You're just not in a position to strike. This was a dangerous moment, right? Where your opponent came to attack, but you were unable to respond, okay? So you have to watch out for these points. This is partly due to footwork and the left hand, all right? Lots of senseis I've heard, and I really agree with this teaching, or it really resonates with me, I should say, is that the left foot, the left hand, and the spirit or the kokoro, the, you know, this mental focus are connected. It's like a triangle. These things are connected, and they have to all be locked in together. And if one of them's out of sync, the others fall out of sync. Yeah, so the fumikomi is more of a stepping out with the right foot rather than a drive from the left leg, making it less dynamic. And it means that when you actually make a strike, it means that the power in the strike is going to come from mainly your arms rather than from your lower body and your whole body, really. So you're going to struggle to reach the criteria of Ippon under the sort of requirements of Kentai no Ichi. You need to be locking that left foot in more and pushing forward for the left foot when you drive forward for that fumikomi rather than stepping out with the right. But can you see, from this angle as well, you've got this kind of S shape where I'd like it to be more of an A shape, like this. Maybe left heel a little bit lower so that you can push forward. Left hand again, a little bit more. Yeah, it's just floating, like I say. Okay, so because because your kamae is not optimized, all right, when you want to, and your left hand, and this is coming from that point of the left hand and the left foot, to make a strike, you have to prepare yourself into a striking posture, which in your case means, you see how can you see how your weight has to shift here onto your left leg so that you can drive forward, and as you do, you start to swing the shinai because your left hand isn't engaged as well. So you start to swing the shinai like this. So you make this huge movement for a strike, and that's enough for your partner to, you know, hit instead. And then also, can you see as well, this is what I'm talking about in terms of synchronization. Your right foot lands here whilst you've just begun the downswing. This isn't a launch from the lower body. It's just a step out with the right foot. So it's not synchronized. That's why it looks out of sync. All right. Because what's happening is your strike happens as your left foot starts to come up, which isn't really the right way in terms of striking with Fumikomi. If you watch the correct strike with Fumikomi in slow motion like this, you'll notice the shinai actually makes contact before the foot hits the ground in terms of split seconds. Obviously, when it's watched at full speed, it looks synchronized and all together and pretty much at the same time. But it's not the case that generally the foot lands before the hands. It's the opposite. The shinai lands before the foot when really slowed down. Okay. Again, this is all coming from that triangle of the left leg, the left hand, and the spirit or the mind all being connected. See, you see how this is a brilliant opportunity here for this kotenuki men, but because we didn't have that synchronization, you couldn't make a smooth and fast strike. So here, if your left hand is engaged, all right, all this left hand has to do from here is go like that. And because you're in this position, is go like that, and you'll make a strike to the men, which is sort of what you do, but because it's kind of, in fairness, the left hand movement is all right, but I think because we've come such a sort of big movement here, and again, your lower body's not engaged, so it's slower than it could be, I think is probably the reasoning behind this. But I'd like to have seen this to be more, you know, faster and smoother. And I don't think it could be because your lower body's not helping you generate the, how can I say, like the dynamic power that's required to execute a waza like this at the speed it needs to happen at. Which is why it kind of goes 1, 2, because you have to drop your weight back. You see how you drop your weight back? If we watch that again, I'm figuring this out as I'm watching it live. So, but you can see your weight drop back because again, it's like your men strike before. Because your left leg isn't initially in a position to let you strike, you have to drop your weight back onto it before you do, and that's adding an extra step, which is slowing the whole process down. Yeah, you see how here, you see how you drop. You have to shift your weight to prepare your left leg to allow you to strike. Whereas if you'd already been in that position, pam, pam, it would have been much faster, and you would have probably been able to reach the target in time, which would have resulted in an ippon. I think the theme of this really is all about your left foot, your footwork, accuracy of your footwork, and using your left hand. Because I can see in the movement of your shinai here, this isn't how a shinai doesn't move like this way. I know I'm only small on the screen. It doesn't move this way when like in the way the video showing, I'm too small on the screen to show you properly. When it's being maneuvered with the left hand, you're using your right hand as well as your left hand to sort of windscreen wiper it, like this. Yeah, it's not egregious windscreen wiping, but I mean the movement of the shinai isn't the efficient use of the left hand maneuvering the kensen. It's shown in the way that the shinai moves. This was a good time strike, but I think you have the same issue as before, right? Is when you decide to go. Every time you decide to hit, you always have to shift your weight back to your left. You know, you kind of take the step back onto your left leg to kind of prime your weight onto your left leg so that you can launch to hit, because it's not ready in the first place. All right, so it's not an optimum position from your kamae. All right, and then here, like, you're using your right hand here to pull the shinai up. You can see that it's your right hand that's pulling the shinai up here, right? Now, really, whoops, that's the wrong. What you really want to do is you don't need to swing the shinai much higher than this, actually. It's just your left hand needs to push it forward. I imagine we're going to see the right foot land just going from here before the shinai again, which we do. You see how it's completely out of time with your strike? Yeah, because it's not really, you're not launching a strike here. You're just stepping out with the right. You're putting your weight on your left foot and then stepping out on the right, which isn't really what Fumikomi is for. So we're very much out of synchronization. Can you see that? Yeah. And actually you're receiving the strike, and it's a shame because at this point I feel like you initiated this encounter. So if your main strike had been more efficient and higher quality, there'd have been a good chance that you would have won this Aimen or Dedana, and could have resulted in an Ippon for you. There's a, you know, it's a shame in a way that it was missing that. So if we can fix these things, you're gonna start finding Ippon more likely in this scenario. Yeah, I can definitely see that left hand starts to floating up. It should, you know, there's hardly any times your left hand should come above your right hand. And your Tsubazeriai as well, it's also evident, yeah, that your Tsubazeriai isn't effective Tsubazeriai. Your Tsuba should be against the Tsuba of your opponent and trying to find the center line. And again, using your left hand, you have to use your right hand a little bit more in Tsubazeriai to control the shinai. But like your shinai's out to the side. I don't think you can make a strike from this position. So it doesn't look like you have the intention of making a strike. All right, but Tsubazeriai is a position from which you have to make a strike from. It's not a time. It's not a position from which you have to, you know, I don't know, like just defend yourself or take a break or something like that. I'm not suggesting that's necessarily what you're doing. But what I'm saying is you're not at the same time. You're not clearly. It appears as though you're not kind of actively looking to strike. This is a kote. It's hard to see from that angle, so I can't say too much on it. I mean, we're seeing a repetition of the same sort of things, right? This is like the men before. Good timing. You initiate the strike, right? And you get there first. But the problem is, you know, right, look how the left hand is sort of dead here, right? And the kind of position from where you make it from, like your left foot's totally in front, it isn't necessarily a problem in and of itself, but like you're not making a you know, an effective Fumikomi here. So again, it's well out of sync. So although you make the strike, it's hard to justify this as a strike made with Kentai no Ichi because it's not properly synchronized. Which is why, as well, after the strike, it sort of becomes awkward because you have to try to add momentum that wasn't there in the first place because you've only stepped out with the right foot rather than launched your body forward properly. So, look, you know, the thing is this... I realize this. I'm being quite harsh. I don't want to be overly negative to you, all right? I don't. And I realize you're like only still third Q, so you're not even in the downgrade yet. But at the same time, you're 3 years into Kendo, so you're not a beginner either. You know, in a different country, in a or a different set of circumstances. For example, in Japan, you could be second or third dan by now. I'm not making a comment on that, you know, system or anything like that, but you know, 3 years of Kendo practice is also sort of the second dan, third dan level in other places. So that's why I'm being quite strict on you. All right. So please understand I want to be the best. I want the best for you. I'm trying to give you the best honest feedback that's useful for you. Because my concern is, again, look at the position of this left hand. The elbow is bent. I know I'm only small on the screen, but elbow is bent like this as the left hand comes up, all right? And it's not an effective position for you to apply seme, okay? And again, this wheeling around, in the footwork must be more accurate. Okay, and there we go. All right. So look, fantastic job. All right. And thank you for sending the video in. This is really all about. I definitely think there's a thing with this Sonkyo here. Like, I think your knees are too close together and that's causing your weight to be too far back. It's all about this left hand, left foot. All right. Your footwork needs to be accurate, okay? Smaller steps, left foot locked in all the time. No crossing over, all right? No walking, yeah? Left foot locked in all the time and left hand, good, though. These fingers holding the shinai nice and tightly and using these fingers to manipulate the kensen, the tip of the shinai, all right? That's how you need to wield the shinai, not in this kind of way. All right, because it doesn't impress effective seme on the other side, and it doesn't result in accurate or correct datotsu. Left foot, heel down a little bit more, feet closer together, legs a little bit straighter, but not locked straight. Standing up tall in a nice A shape, not an S shape, is going to let you push your body forward with your left foot more at the times you need to do it without bringing up the right foot, without just stepping out with the right foot, but launching from the left so that you can make synchronized strikes that result in ippon. All right? You get those two things together, you're going to find that that locks in with the spirit that I'm talking about, and it's going to be much more effective in the way you interact with the other side and how effective or how, let's say, the ratio of strikes that convert to ippon will raise. Okay? Thank you for sending it in. Good job. All right. Okay, so next one. This one, the email says, "Hello, Fish Sensei. I've been following your channel since before I started Kendo, and I'm a big fan." Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate when you gave feedback on my Nikkyu exam about a year ago, and I'm hoping to submit another video for Kendo feedback. No problem. I'm now Shodan, and I've competed in a few tournaments with little success. I feel like I've hit a roadblock, and it's led to me wonder if I'm doing proper Kendo. I really appreciate some brutal honesty so I can improve myself. I linked a video of Club Jigeko with another Dan player. I start in the foreground on the right side. You've linked a Shiai video as well, but I think we'll just look at the Jigeko video for now. I think we can see more from that. And to keep this video a sensible length. So you said you're in the foreground on the right side. Is that right? Foreground on the right-hand side. Okay, so let's have a look. So you're this side. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's not bad. It's not bad. It's good, actually. But I think we've got a little bit of this stepping out with the right foot. I know lots of people struggle with Fumikomi on this point, right? But if I'm going to look at this in slow motion now, I feel like the foot's going to land first. Am I right? Yes, I am right. Okay, so the foot is still, you know, you're not really properly generating a leap from, not a leap, but a push off from the left properly. Because the swing itself isn't bad either, right? But it's just out of sync. Yeah? It's out of sync, right? The point at which, when I look at this in slow motion, and said this before, the point at which the shinai makes contact should be a split second before your right foot hits the floor, all right? What's happening here is your foot's hit the floor and then your shinai's hit a split second after. And that's why it looks out of synchronization. All right, let's watch it again. Dodon, yeah? That's why it looks like that. Okay, and then here, when we go for this kote, we're kind of jumping up this way. Like that, rather than, again, pushing forward on the left. I feel like you're probably a little bit tense. There's a lot of tension in your upper body here, so the shinai swing is not that fluid. I try and avoid this rocking back and forth as well. Like it detracts from your semi. Bit of a fall over. Okay. Just get past that. Yeah, so same idea, right? With this. Look, in itself, the kendo's not bad, but this is what you need to sort out. This lack of synchronization. All right? It's making it hit slower than it should be. And that's what's making it look disjointed. All right? If we can fix this, push off from the left better, try to make the shinai hit before the foot lands. Split second. Then I think the whole, like, what can I say, like, atmosphere of your kendo is going to change. All right. Yeah, and you need to push forward with these kote strikes, not up and down. See how it's like a jump up and down? So yeah, because of this, right? It's easy for you to lose a point like this. Nice kote there, isn't it? It's easy for you to lose the degote like this because of the disjointedness. It's easy to predict, and especially as the shape of your men strikes and kote strikes are so radically different. It's easy to tell which one you're going to come for. Let's watch this one again. You can't. You're far too far away to make a strike from here. All right. You can't reach from this distance, as just shown. It's too far. The opponent only has to make a slight. I mean, obviously, if they didn't move, it would land. But the problem is because you've been, and I don't mean this to use this word in a harsh context. It's just a direct translation from the Japanese you would use, but there's a lack of patience. Like, you've got to a distance you want to hit, but you haven't fully completed the the setup by applying proper semi. You need to take another half step in, really. So you've come from this reasonably far distance. It's very easy for them to see it coming. It's a long way for you to jump. So they've just had to make a half step back, and you can't reach anymore. Okay, I'm not sure about this rocking back and forth stuff. Locking that left foot a little bit more. Put your intention into your left hand, your left foot. And you have to be a little bit braver in that regard when you're standing off in your kamae. So here again, like obviously you kind of like you made the strike from like this real far distance, so you made a kind of jump in like this to set yourself up, but no Fumikomi at all this time, right? So the issue here again, it's a lot like that with the last video we watched. It's all coming down to footwork, all right? Kendo is like at least 80% footwork. It's so important. I think what we're gonna do is I think I'm gonna watch the Shiai video as well, because like it's gonna give us a little bit more context. So I'm gonna just pull that up. Okay, so we'll have a look at the Shiai video as well. All right, this is you're the Senpo in red. So let's have a look here. All right. Let's try to. Okay, so this side. Okay. This side with the back to the camera. Because I feel like I'm. The reason I want to look at this as opposed to just the Jigeiko is I feel like there's a bit of a skill gap between you and your partner in the Jigeiko, but let's see how you handle the actual match. Okay, so again, too far away when you're hitting, hands on feet, totally out of synchronization. All right, totally out of synchronization. I'm being harsh on you because you did say I'd really appreciate some brutal honesty so I can improve myself. So your footwork needs improvement. Okay, your footwork you need to concentrate on your footwork, and it needs to be synchronized with your striking because at the moment it's not. So it's easy for you to lose a strike like this. Okay. An issue with the Shinai there. Overly tense in the upper body as well. All right. You need to relax more. Left hand, hold the Shinai with the little finger and ring finger tightly. Everything else nice and relaxed so that you can maneuver it quickly and you don't get yourself in stuck positions. All right. Your kamae is reasonably good, but the footwork itself needs sorting out, and that tension needs to go. Yes, you see how this keeps happening. The second time in a single match that this kind of weird things happen. It happened a lot in the Jigeiko as well. All right, it's too much tension. All right, you're not accurately maneuvering the Shinai. Yeah, so it means that this comes from an issue with Tenuchi actually, because you're kind of your hits are like flat, so they get stuck on parts of your opponent's boga and stuff like that. Whereas if they were sharp, pam, like this, as you'd hit, the Shinai would already be on its way back before this kind of situation sort of occurred. Generally. Okay, so you know, we can see from the footwork here, it's completely out of sync with your upper body, all right? And you were better in the Jigeko, but this normally people's worst kendo comes out in the Shiai, so this is one of the other reasons that I wanted to see it. Yeah. Focus on that lower body, on that left leg, on that footwork being accurate. See, when you do the Hikiwaza as well, first you go with this one, like your foot is down whilst you're still swinging the shinai up, yeah? And then, like, you just jump when you hit the Hikiwaza instead of trying to do the proper humikomi, all right? Okay, so Gyakudo, all right? Gyakudo's a valid waza, perfectly valid waza, but it takes quite a bit of a setup, all right? In the right way. You can't just dive in for it, okay? And I'm not sure why, but lots of people sort of around your level and even higher tend to do this thing when they want to do, like, open the opponent for Gyakudo, where they do this sort of step in and, like, try to do a kind of feint or something to get them to raise their arms, which is important. It's a key step of the waza, but they kind of do it in slow motion. like here, where you kind of go, like, people catch on to that too quickly. If you want to do that, it has to be kind of semi, push on the shinai and bam, not like this is too, it's too contrived. It's too obvious. You understand? It's not just you. What I respect though, and this is excellent, and I want more people to learn from you in this regard, right? Is this part where you decide to go for the Gyakudo and you realize it's not open, so you stop, right? Lots of people don't. They just, without any sort of responsibility, just bash away. And that's wrong, all right? That's wrong. Problem is you put yourself at an extremely, you know, at-risk posture here, whether you'd swung for it or not, because you didn't set it up properly. This waza here, right? Like, in principle was all right. Just, again, footwork wasn't there. It wasn't the right waza for you to use, of course. I guess you thought he was coming for kote, so you're going to do kote nuki men. But, like, as a datotsu, it wasn't too bad. Just the footwork wasn't there, yeah? And we're doing this ducking in, ducking out, ducking in, ducking out. It looks like you're kind of, what can I say? It looks like you don't really want to be there. Okay, good. So here was a good chance for Kaishido. It's good. But the problem is because your footwork's not there, yeah? And you've got too much stiffness, the whole motion becomes a lot bigger than it has to, right? And slower than it has to, so he has time to defend it, okay? Kaishido here has to be, okay, I'm going to do Kaishido, I'll just get him to hit men. And, bam, not dan, yeah? Has to be, bam. It's hard to move fast like that, but it comes from your lower body, from your footwork, and your left hand maneuvering the shinai quickly, all right? Your right hand as well has to be using the Kaishido, in fairness. But, like, it's all that stuff is connected, all right? Which is why you're not able to maneuver the shinai quick enough to do a waza like Kaishido. You can see here, you see how you're stepping in, stepping out, stepping in, stepping out. I can see how, like, your left foot's, like, dead. Like, you're not able to launch yourself forward here. Like, if he jumps forward now, you can't really respond. You could just try to run backwards and defend. But you couldn't launch or do some kind of ojiwaza. So with that, because of that, your opponent can tell that you're not in a position to strike, all right? So it's not scary. So your semi won't work. So again, I know we're going over old ground here, but this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, this foot well in advance of the shinai. Okay? So it's not dynamic, it's out of synchronization. Even if it hits, there's a big question mark over whether you're going to be able to convert that into ippon. Probably not. Is this a gyakudo? No, it's a hikido. Okay, right. So I'm not against trying the hikido, that's all good. But again, no real proper humikomi, and it looks like you've done it right at the edge of the shiaijo. It's not a smart place to do the hikiwata, all right? You have to be aware of where you are when you're doing the shiai. You have to be aware of where you are inside the shiaijo and how much space you have to execute hikiwata. So this is a bit of what we talked about before. When you're doing the jigeko, you got hit with a really nice degote. Same sort of thing, yeah, because you're coming from a long way away. You're telegraphing your strike very easily. And you're open for that kote, okay? So again, it's a lot like the previous video. It's a lot like the previous video. The theme for you is your left foot and your footwork in general. It has to be accurate, it has to be sharper. You have to have your intention connected to your left foot and your left hand, all right? So that you can launch yourself properly into your strikes. I want you to do some more Mitori Geiko, all right? I want you to watch the top level Japanese players and look at the, you know, the technical aspects of their striking movements. Yeah, their kamae. How do they move their feet? How do they maneuver themselves around the shiaijo? Do they step crossing the feet like the previous video? Do they step in and step out like that? And if they do, is their footwork something similar to what yours is? If not, and I'll give you a spoiler alert, it's not. Then you know you need to try to modify yours to be closer to that. Okay, if you do those things, you will experience a noticeable improvement in your kendo. I'm sure of it. All right, I'm sure of it. You're doing super well. Thank you very much for sending that in. All right, and yeah, keep doing it. All right, keep going. All right. Thank you again to both of the people that sent these videos in. If you would like to send a video to be featured on the show, all you have to do is upload it to YouTube like these wonderful people have done. You can either set it to public so everyone can see it, or unlisted so only I can see it. Do not set it to private though, because I will not be able to see it. Set it as unlisted either way, and send me the link to mail@kendostar.com. All right, and I will feature it on the channel. I do every single one of these. I think it's a popular show, and I get the feedback that people find it useful. So whilst that's happening, I will continue to do so. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and shop at KendoStar. See you next time. Bye bye.